Hello, it's Alex. Welcome back to my channel. I'm here today to talk about the Mountain View pull-on jeans from Itch to Stitch. I do just want to say that I am an affiliate for Itch to Stitch patterns, so the links in the description box below are affiliate links, which means that I get a small percentage of any sales that are made through those links at no extra cost to you. Just want to make that clear. I said when I kind of did my autumn plans that I was planning to make these, and I also showed you on my recent fabric haul some Jeggings fabric that I bought from TFG Fabrics that I was planning to make them from. And while I've been kind of a bit AWOL, I made myself a pair and I've got to say I really like them. I've been quite intrigued to make this pattern because yeah, just the idea of pull-on jeans, it sounds interesting, and all the pictures I've seen from other YouTubers and on the Itch to Stitch website, Instagram, all the rest of it, they look really good, and they definitely look more like jeans than, you know, pull-on jeans sounds a bit frumpy, doesn't it? But the pictures I've seen, they don't look like that. They look really good. So I've been dying to make them. They do have a super wide waistband. In fact, hold on, I'll show you. Super wide waistband and a faux fly. The pockets are real, so you can put your hand in the pockets. So, you know, if you wanted to tuck your top in, it's going to be a giveaway. It's obvious that they're not standard jeans with a waistband and, you know, I'm wearing jeans now, you know, with belt loops and all the rest of it. But they do have a yoke at the back and normal kind of pockets like jeans would be. So actually, if you've got something like I'm doing now where you've got your shirt untucked, nobody's ever going to know, but you've got the advantage of a pair of jeans that are super, super comfortable. So that was what the appeal was. You have got to have extra stretchy, that's not a technical term, extra stretchy denim for this. The usual amount of comfort stretch that you get in stretch denim isn't going to be enough. There is a specific requirement. I can't quite remember how much though, I'll put it on the titles. So it's not that hard, not that easy to find. I did find that TFG Fabrics, same fabric company, have got stretch denim on their website. They've got it in a number of colours. I wanted it in dark blue, which was out of stock, but funnily enough, I've just had an email this morning to say it's back in stock. But while that was sort of not available, I thought I'd try it in this Jeggings fabric, which actually isn't denim. It is in fact a jersey. So it was a bit of a gamble. The instructions from Itch to Stitch are, if you've ever used any of their patterns, they're always great, really nice and detailed. The design is to be a straight leg jean, but she does also include information on how to convert that into a skinny jean. So, and I guess it's not really too hard to make them slightly flared or give it a bootleg or whatever you might want, really. But if you're somebody that likes to have lots of hand holding and lots of information on the way, the instructions are fabulous, and they come in a great size range. I think it's from 0 to 40, something like that. I made a size 10. My measurements actually put me sort of somewhere between a 10 and a 12, and the instructions do say that if you're in between, to size down. But again, because I wasn't using denim fabric, this has got a lot more stretch in it, so I kind of thought I'd go down rather than up, and in fact that has worked. And in terms of the leg, I did follow the instructions that she gives you to make it into skinny jeans, although I didn't go as far as a skinny jeans. I actually took my trusty jeans that I'm wearing now. I know, shock horror, I didn't make them. They come from a very high-end glamorous store, Sainsbury's supermarket. But they are, yeah, my favourite kind of shop bought jeans. So I literally just took the measurement from these around the hem and kind of made this version to match. So I knew I'd be comfortable with that. And I'm really pleased. They've worked really well. They were nice and easy to make, although I have made proper jeans before, so not having to faff around with a fly and all the rest of it's really good. It's nice and simple. She does say in the instructions that it's a good idea to make a toile, which of course you would expect with any kind of pair of trousers or jeans in particular, but it's quite hard to do because of the nature of the fabric really. If you are going to use a stretched denim, I'm not really sure what you could use that would replicate that and be less expensive than the denim that you're going to buy in the first place. So I just went straight in. Just thought, well, I'll give it a go and hope for the best. So luckily, as I say, the fit I think is good. I'm really happy with it. They are probably more like jeggings than jeans, but again, that's due to the fabric I've chosen. This, I've shown you this in the fabric haul. This jeggings fabric is really nice and soft on the inside, so they're an absolute dream to wear. They are so comfortable. It looks like this on the inside, so it is super stretchy, and I think it kind of looks denim-y enough. It's obviously not denim, but then who's looking at the turn-ups of your jeans? I do like to be able to turn them up depending on what boots I might be wearing with them and all the rest of it. But yeah, it came together really nicely. I'm dying to try them out in stretch denim, and in fact I'm really tempted to buy the stretch denim now that I've had that email this morning, because these are a joy to wear. But obviously, yeah, I've cheated a bit with the fabric. So as I said, the instructions are great. Whilst she does tell you to use your overlocker to attach that super nice wide waistband on, the rest of it is done on the sewing machine. But in fact, again, because I was using jersey, I made most of it. You see how stretchy it is? I made most of it on the overlocker. It sewed up nicely. I did have to be a little bit careful, more with things like the details around the pockets, because when you first sew the seam together, it does have a slight sort of ripply look, which presses out really easily. But I was a little bit cautious with the pockets, not to do any kind of fancy schmancy pocket designs on them. I literally just did a top stitch across the top, and I used water soluble stabilizer under that just to give it a little bit more strength, because I just thought a design in the middle of the pockets on this kind of super stretchy fabric might not sit nice and flat. But other than that, it behaved itself beautifully. I did do all the normal top stitching that you would expect in a pair of jeans. I used top stitching thread in the spool and regular thread in the bobbin. I didn't use a twin needle actually. I just used, you know, I just made a note of how far apart my stitching was and tried to keep that consistent throughout. But because of the stretchiness, I did use a super long stitch. It probably wasn't the best choice. I mean, it's fine, none of my stitches have broken, but just to be on the safe side, I probably would have been better off using a twin needle, because it zigzags at the back and that's going to work fine on stretch fabric. But I've worn them already a couple of times and they're absolutely fine, so there's no problem. One thing that was a bit of a surprise is the seam at the back of the legs. I mean, now I know it's obvious, but I think when I'd seen images, I had thought that it was just pressed and top stitched. I hadn't really realised, even though it says everywhere, but I hadn't really realised that it is actually a seam. But in some ways that's great, because it does give you a lot more scope for fitting, and of course trousers are always difficult for fitting, aren't they? So yeah, I don't mind it in a way. If I'm honest, I kind of prefer it not to be there, but I can see why it gives you lots more fitting options and is probably really good. The pockets, as I say, are kind of working pockets, and I've lined mine with some cotton tartan fabric that I just had in my stash, because you've got to have pockets, haven't you? My little top tip when you're doing symmetrical pockets like this and you want to make sure they're both the same is to make one first and then use that as your template for the second one. So you make your first one, and then when you're pressing the seam allowances in, you put it on top of the first one and literally use that as your guide so that they're absolutely spot on. And that means that you've got two matching pockets, because it's the sort of thing that'll bug you, won't it? No one else noticed, but it would bug me anyway. My only problem is that they're in black and I've got a white dog. But other than that, yeah, love them, and very tempted to make another pair pretty soon. So I've got lots of bits and pieces to catch up with you about, so I'm just going to keep popping on and doing a little bit of an update. So I will be back soon. This shirt, by the way, is from the Avid Seamstress. I think it's called the Blouse or something very basic like that. I made it quite a while ago. This is silk from, Dave bought it for me when he went to Hong Kong, probably a couple of years ago now. I didn't get on with this pattern at all. I found it an absolute nightmare to fit. It was really tight across here and loose everywhere else, so it took a lot of fiddling around. But anyway, I like this one. So it gets pulled out every autumn. I always feel it's a kind of autumnal one. So I will put in some images of the trousers, but you're going to have to forgive me because black is proving to be really difficult to photograph. And yeah, thank you so much for all your really positive comments from the last video. Really loved that skirt. And yeah, lots of lovely welcome back messages, so thank you very much for all of that. Please click the subscribe button if you would like to see any more videos, and I'll be back soon. Thanks a lot. Bye.